Welcome to Mark My Words on Music. I'm Mark Evans with a look at the most exciting new music of the day. In 1955, Dimitri Tiomkin, a celebrated Russian film composer, delivered what may be the most memorable acceptance speech ever given for an Academy Award. Accepting the Oscar for his tuneful and dramatic score for The High and the Mighty, Tiomkin said in his inimitable Russian accent, "Ladies and gentlemen, because I am working in this town for 25 years, I like to make some kind of appreciation to a very important factor which makes me successful and adds to quality of this town. I like to thank Johannes Brahms, Johann Strauss, Richard Strauss, Richard Wagner, Beethoven, Rimsky-Korsakov." Tiomkin never got to thank his most obvious influences, Tchaikovsky and Rachmaninoff, as the audience dissolved in laughter, and Master of Ceremonies Bob Hope quipped, "You'll never get on this show again." Tiomkin wasn't shy about admitting what everyone knew, that many film composers had borrowed generously from the styles of Europe's classical masters, especially those of the Romantic period. Tiomkin did return to the podium for another Oscar for his score for The Old Man of the Sea, but that unforgettable acceptance speech was only one episode in an astonishing life. Although Tiomkin wrote many a symphonic film score, he was also an accomplished songwriter. Now publisher Hal Leonard has released the Dimitri Tiomkin Anthology, a remarkable collection of Tiomkin's songs, including the most familiar and intriguingly unfamiliar themes from many of his film scores. Tiomkin's authentic life story could have been lifted right out of a Hollywood script. He began his career as a serious classical pianist at the St. Petersburg Conservatory, where he was the classmate of Sergei Prokofiev and a composition pupil of the celebrated composer Alexander Glazunov. He pursued piano studies with formidable teachers, Felix Blumenfeld, the teacher of the legendary Vladimir Horowitz, and Madame Isabella Vengerova, the disciplinarian, whose pupils included her nephew, musicologist Nicholas Slonimsky, and would later include Leonard Bernstein and Samuel Barber, who would dub her their beloved tyrant. After the Russian Revolution, he fled to Berlin, where he studied with Ferruccio Busoni and his pupil Igon Petri, and then to Paris, where he joined his friend Michael Karatin in a two-piano team. The two eventually became accompanists for a dance troupe led by the Austrian dancer, choreographer Albertina Rasch, who became Mrs. Dimitri Tiomkin. Tiomkin continued appearing as a pianist, performing the European premiere of his friend George Gershwin's Concerto in F. Eventually, the Tiomkins moved to Hollywood, where Albertina Rasch choreographed films and Tiomkin provided the ballet music. Dimitri Tiomkin scored 130 films, won 4 Oscars, and left an indelible stamp on the art and craft of motion picture music. Ironically, Tiomkin became especially known for scoring westerns. His western music couldn't have been more Russian, but somehow it worked in big western sagas that depicted conflict and power, two emotional elements which Tiomkin was always musically comfortable with. His western films included Duel in the Sun, High Noon, and The Alamo. For High Noon, he penned a song, "Do Not Forsake Me, Oh My Darling," and the song became a huge hit, and it changed Hollywood forever. Tiomkin, the Russian classicist, was suddenly in demand as a songwriter. Certainly other hit songs had emerged from dramatic films as well. But Tiomkin's 1952 hit set a huge trend in motion. Over his many years of composing, he scored many types of films, ranging from the Christmas classic Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life to historical epics The Fall of the Roman Empire, 55 Days at Peking, and Land of the Pharaohs. Themes from these and other films are found in the anthology, including Alfred Hitchcock's Dial M for Murder, Circus World, Giant, and Lost Horizon. There's even a waltz written especially for the wedding of Monaco's Prince Rainier and the star of Dial M for Murder, then actress Grace Kelly. Tiomkin didn't often highlight the piano in his scores, but the results were memorable when he did. 2 such films were 36 Hours and Angel Face. I was delighted to see the haunting theme Nostalgia from Angel Face, one of his most under-recognized scores, a film noir production in which an heiress and femme fatale played by Gene Simmons plays the piano in between leading the family's chauffeur astray and plotting her stepmother's murder. Tiomkin's score was pure Rachmaninoff, and it was absolutely wonderful. After the death of his first wife, Tiomkin married Olivia Patch and settled in London. Producing a movie about Tchaikovsky gave him the opportunity to return to his homeland. He remained a larger-than-life personality throughout his lifetime. Tiomkin's Russian accent was inimitable. That came through even on the pages of his autobiography, Please Don't Hate Me. His illegible music notation, which drove copyists and orchestrators to distraction, and his colorful personality only added to the mystique. His songs, including such memorable melodies as The Green Leaves of Summer, Wild as the Wind, and Thee I Love, were classics. Tiomkin's songs often had lyrics by Paul Francis Webster and Ned Washington. Patrick Rust, Paul Henning, and Warren M. Shirk collaborated on assembling and often arranging music in this excellent anthology. Anyone who enjoys classic films has enjoyed the music of Dimitri Tiomkin. Now you can find many of his best songs in one place. And mark my words.